Good morning to everybody. Welcome to EHU's first edition of Conversations Without Borders. Today I'm very glad to welcome our first guest at this series, very famous Lithuanian filmmaker, a documentary filmmaker, Giedrė Žickytė. Well, she's film director, producer, documentary filmmaker from Vilnius, Lithuania, and she's the founder of production company Moonmakers, right? So my name is Vilius Alesius. I'm the head of communications and marketing unit at the European Humanities University, and yes, it's a big honor for me to have Giedrė here at our discussion, as we at the university have also media communication program, and there are a lot of students, mainly Belarusian students, who are also interested in filmmaking and producing. So I think it's will be very useful for students as well for our viewers on our YouTube channel to hear best experiences from you. So maybe I could start with the list of your filmography, which starts from 2009. I guess with the movie Baras.
Sorry, double checking.
Yes, movie. Yeah, I think it's your films. So, which starts with the movie Baras, documentary about the avant-garde Lithuanian actor and filmmaker Artūras Barysas. Baras. The film won the 2009 Silver Crane Award for the best TV film. Then followed by 2011, How We Played the Revolution. Personally, it was the first movie that I saw from you. So it's a documentary about music of the singing revolution in Lithuania and the impact on it by the band Antis. The latter started as a joke parodying the Soviet life. Nominated at 2012 again with the Silver Crane Awards in the category of Best Documentary Film. Then a very famous film and successful film in 2014, Master and Tatiana, was a documentary about the Lithuanian photographer Vitas Luckus. The film won 4 nominations at 2015 Silver Crane Awards, the best documentary film of the year, the best work of the director of the year, the best work of cinematography, the best work of director and editing. I believe there were more awards, internationally awards of that. You can tell, of course, by yourself later about it. Then 2016 movie Yono Soy de Aki. I'm Not From Here, co-directed with Maite Alberti. In 2020, The Jump, a very famous movie about Soviet Lithuanian defector Simas Kudirka, Best Documentary Feature Award at the 36th Warsaw International Film Award. And yeah, in 2020, The Earth is Blue as an Orange documentary film, directed and written by Irina Tsilik, which won the award, World Cinema Documentary category for the film at the Sundance Film Festival. So, and in 2022, Giedrė was awarded the Lithuanian National Prize for Culture and Arts for vigorous and impressive creative leap. So yeah, very impressive list, Giedrė, and congratulations to that. And we wanted to talk about your creative process and how do you begin to create those movies? How do you come to ideas? So, what are the primary sources of inspiration for your documentary film? Do personal experience, societal issues, or historical events play a significant role in sparking your creative ideas?
Yeah. So first of all, good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for invitation. It's a big honor for me to be here and start your series, your conversation series program. So many questions was in your one question. You know, like for every artist, like no matter it's a filmmaking, you know, writing book or painting a picture, the creative idea comes, first of all, personally from you. It's your background, your experience, and I don't know, your questions to the world. Mm-hmm. And when you meet some topic that finds some, it rings bell, like in your soul, in your heart, and that's how you start with films. And it's everything. It's a very natural process. It's not like that I am sitting and thinking, okay, I need now to create a new film, and one might think, okay, what is successful story to tell now? No, I know that like many of you are from Belarus. Yeah, I came here to study and to live here in Vilnius. And me, being filmmaker from Vilnius, I might think, okay, so this turbulent events in Belarus, it can, I mean, we are more or less calm and little bit more calm in Lithuania, so maybe let's make a film there. And but if it doesn't come from my own experience, that, you know, if I go with this outsider look, if I myself didn't survive through that, it will be, you know, I will just follow something that, you know, might be fashionable or might attract attention, but it should come from my own heart. And I think, like, for example, you who survived, who lived through this, you could tell like really a better story, unless I would find something that, not thinking theoretically that I have to make a film because something is happening there, but if it would be my some own personal sudden experience where I find something that I would like to tell, I would like to know based on my own feelings, my own thinking. So that's first. So to sum it up, this authenticity and telling authentic stories and being yourself, being authentic, I think that's the most important thing. And when you are true and honest to yourself, and when you say, and this creative ideas comes from your authentic experience, when for some reason it also becomes universal. And this, I remember from my first film, you know, like, for example, it's when you like Lithuanian history, like singing revolution, Lithuanian history. It may sound, oh yeah, something, you know, like history, documentary, Lithuania. For a foreigner, it can be, oh, okay, some boring lecture that I need to watch. But the film got so many good feedback around the world, maybe because of this I even got like a letter from Uruguay, from a person saying, I never knew that country like Lithuania exists, and they watched your film, and I was so inspired by these people and by the mood of these people. So the thing is that, yeah, if it comes from your own thing, it somehow, yeah. And my films usually somehow deal with this freedom subject. And it's, I only now, after third or fourth film, I somehow realized that this theme is like repeating from one film to another. But it was not intentionally. It came somehow naturally. And now I have already an answer, because I was a so-called kid of perestroika. Perestroika movement was when the Soviet Union collapsed, and before it was began all this movement of the changes, and Lithuania was the first one country who declared its independence from the Soviet Union. And I was 10 years old when all it happened. And for me, it really affected my personality so much. It influenced me as a person, and this sweet word freedom for me became something, I don't know, very important, something like in my blood. And that's why maybe trying to understand what was the life before then, when we were lived in totalitarian society, maybe through my films I also want to understand this life, and that's why I'm searching for the heroes, for the characters who are striving for freedom and making sacrifice for that.
Yes. Thank you for the work that you're doing, and thank you for making Lithuania's name known worldwide. Of course, let's go back to 2009 or earlier stage maybe. Can you please tell us how did you start your path as a filmmaker, and why did you go in this direction? What about your studies, and how was the what was the inspiration for first movie maybe?
So after school, I hadn't started filmmaking immediately. I was, in the beginning, I was studying journalism. I had this secret dream to make movies. But at the time, in 1998, in Lithuania, there were, now I see so many young women making films, working in films. At that time, it was not. Oh, I was maybe too afraid. I was thinking maybe it's not for me, and first thing. Second thing, maybe I was not also grown up enough. For some things you also need to get more mature, you need to grow up, you need to, it's not everyone like Orson Welles, who made his Citizen Kane in 21 or 22, being very young. Some film directors need, to grow up a little bit. So I had this little secret dream, but after school I chose journalism studies, but I had a wonderful, wonderful tutor. It was Skirmantas Valiulis, famous Lithuanian film and photography critic. Now he already passed away unfortunately many years ago, but he was such an inspiring personality, a wonderful teacher. And I think for a young person, it's very, very important to meet someone who believes in you. So he somehow noticed my passion for cinema, and he started redirecting me, giving me the films I need to see, books I need to read. So that's how little by little I started getting more confidence. Because I really, to be honest, I was not confident enough. I was not thinking that this part, it looked for me to somehow to complete, So that's how. So thanks to his support, after journalism I chose then film directing studies. Started believing in myself more, and then for some reason I decided to finish my studies with master degree in visual arts and photography. So I was still searching maybe for myself. And right after I finished my master degree studies, somehow I immersed in documentary filmmaking, and this is where I absolutely found my creative part, and I think that, and for me it became very, very interesting. First of all, because this profession leads you to learn more about the world. To meet people I would never meet, and in a way to live different lives. Like with your character, somehow you go through his life, and it's very challenging, but very interesting profession. So thanks to this, so that's why I'm somehow in documentary filmmaker. But I visited so many countries, I met so many people, and most important, through these films, I am investigating the world and getting to know more about the world.
Mm-hmm. Do you face any stereotypes being a woman in this industry?
Yeah, I mean, now because I was telling about beginning of a career, But once, I mean, you already now you already done something, so now people look at your work and and yeah, now it's a little bit but sometimes when you go to some foreign film festival and usually we meet the guests and these people, there are so many guests, so nobody knows. So usually the driver, festival driver is asking, oh, so which film are you acting at? So still the stereotypes that if you are a woman, so maybe in a film business, so usually you need to be actor, so yeah.
Okay, how do you approach the task of making your films accessible to a wider audience and contributing to meaningful societal conversations? Do you think before choosing characters about how wide will the movie spread, or just do you think about of course everybody thinks about the final result of the movie? How often is it starting from idea and going to the direction that you're not planning, for example? Is it the case?
What do you mean, direction planning?
No, for example, yeah, of course you have a scenario for your movies, but is it sometimes the case that it's not going where it was planned?
Of course, it's documentary. It's always like, I mean, you have like basic idea and you have a direction because you still need to go with some direction. But in documentary film, you have to be so much open for the life, because life gives you even much more than you could even imagine. Life is the best director. Life is the best script writer. And you just need not to, sometimes through the filming, the most important is not to destroy and let the life do the things, and not to interfere too much and to destroy the situation. But yeah, but of course you have an idea what you want to say, but the way, and usually your main idea what you want to say, what is the message of a film, is not changing that much, but how it will be said, through how you will, how it will appear in the final edit of a film, it all depends on material shot and what happened. And we're working on films like many years, and of course their influencing is changing, but at the end it's still, movie is like one sentence, what you want to say. So it has to be very, so also, getting rid out of all necessary things, of all the, and it's a very long process, but then in the end you have this final film and you deliver it to the world.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a hard question and hard to decide, but if you are going to, through the list of the movies, which one from those movies are like closest to you, or what movie about you are thinking still until now?
No, I'm not thinking about any movie until now. I'm working on my new film, and it's not.
We can talk about later. Yeah.
I don't live the past, and to tell the truth, sometimes still old movies are being screened in one place or another, and still sometimes I need to give some even interviews about the old movies, and it's always very, very strange to speak about something, because you live now, your passion is now with your new film you're working on right now. So somehow you already let it go. Whenever it premieres, you let it go away. But of course, they are all very, very dear to me. All these films are like part of my life and first of all, part of me as a person, because every film gives you something, a lot, really. It teaches you so much. So they're also part of my personality, of my growing of my inside growth. So they all are very dear to me. And
yes. Okay, maybe we can talk about Jump movie, documentary about Soviet Lithuanian defector Simas Kudirka, who unfortunately passed away already, but it's a very interesting story, I think, to hear also for the students who didn't hear about this movie. So maybe you could tell shortly what it was about and how did you came to the idea to shoot this movie?
Yeah, so The Jump tells the story of, it was 1970s, and two ships met in the Atlantic Ocean, one Soviet ship and one American ship, to discuss fishing rights. And during this conference, just before the conference ended, a sailor, a man from the Soviet ship, literally jumped onto American ship. He asked for asylum, but Americans gave him back. Not even gave him back, they let the Russians come on board and drag the defector back to their ship. So that was really, and this incident lasted like 8 hours. And
he was beaten up, by Russians.
So, and then he was brought back to Soviet Lithuania. There was a trial, and of course he was tried for treason, and he was sent to the Soviet prison camps. But then, I don't know how many things to say, maybe still someone will see this film. But then things started like to happen that you would not even imagine in a fiction story. And that's why I like documentary films, because if it would be a fiction film, the audience may find, oh, we thought of too much, it cannot happen in reality. But if it happens in reality, you are just, you are really, you are too surprised. So when the huge protests started all over America, like tens of thousands of people went out of the streets, and people were working for his release in the most unexpected way. And when two American housewives found that actually his mother was born in the America and then he might be an American citizen. So it was like many box of surprises that were opening in the film throughout the story. And even, with like Kissinger passed away yesterday. So we even met with Kissinger for the film, because he was behind also all these processes of releasing Simas Kudirka from the prison, that you imagine it's not so easy to get a man from the, like now it's not possible, from the Russian prison, and at the time from a Soviet prison, it's the same. So there's so many things, but first of all, this is the film, but it's just the story. But the film is not only the story, the film is also like the idea and the character was just completely amazing, charismatic Simas, who in his 90s agreed to go with us, our crew, to this journey. So we went with him to the same ship where everything happened, and he just recreated with such a passion and such an energy all his life story, and later his life in America. And we just see, a story about a man who was just in between these two superpowers, and the cost of freedom, the price of freedom he had to pay at the end.
How is it easy or difficult to convince people to take part in documentary films? Are there cases that people are not willing to be filmed? Or?
Yeah, maybe first of all, I would not use this word to convince. It's not like that. It doesn't have any, because for me this word convince, it's something like, it's like a pressure. So there is never a pressure, never convincing. It has to be a mutual wish to do it. Because film is a very, very long journey that you're making. It's not like that I go with my camera, I speak and I film and I leave next day. It takes years. So before making film, you get to know your character. Your character gets to know you. You build a mutual trust. You build mutual relationship. And it's a very, very slow process, but it should be motivation from both sides and understanding why we need to make this film. This is like the most important, because it's not because, oh, this is a good story. No, it's not enough, but why you need to make it, what you want to say with this film. And character needs to also to see his motivation. But first of all, you as a director need to have very, very strong your inner motivation, self-motivation. What gives you this right to go and to intrude into other person's life. Because, it's not fiction. It's not an actor who is making his job and he leaves next day to do another job. This is a real person, his real life, and you're bringing out to the audience, on the screen. It's a huge also moral responsibility and ethical. So therefore it should be very, very careful, very, very responsible, and it needs also to go so much from your heart and from the motivation. And the character also needs to do that. So when you're both, and when you give this trust, then it's not convincing, that it's a natural process you are going through, you are following, and for example, with this Simas Kudirka, the gem character, when we just, when I met him first day, I knocked at his door. I called him. He invited to visit him. He opened the door with such a nice big smile, but he thought, oh, it happened 50 years ago. Who is interested in that? Nobody's he really was thinking. And if I would say him, look, Simas, so we will go to United States with you, we will go to the same ship where everything happened, we will go to meet the captain, I think he would just close the doors immediately at the same moment and he would just go away. But me, I also didn't know how I will make this film when I first visited him. I needed to see him, I needed to get to know, because, people are different and everyone, and you, after spending some time with this person, you get to know something, okay, how I'm going to tell his story, how I'm going to film him. And then, and it was so nice to see, importance after some years when we finished filming, that I saw how it became also important for Simas to be part of this film. Somehow at the end of his life, he felt some kind of this meaning in what happened, because he was a little bit sad when I met him. He was a little bit disillusioned about certain things. And this, our process somehow also gave him again hope and some inspiration. And for me, this is even, really, to tell the truth, even more important and gives much more inner pleasure than with awards and recognitions later when you receive, seeing that, okay, something you did that, it's good for this person. And this is why also documentaries, movies are so important, and it sometimes makes a lot of impact for the society and other people too.
Okay, in the beginning you said that you were less confident, of course, at the beginning of your career.
I think many young people, it's nothing to hide.
Now that you are more famous, of course, comparing to the beginning.
But the same fragile with a new film.
Yeah.
The same. With every new film, I feel like a beginner.
That's what I wanted to ask. Does it help, or does it maybe not help sometimes when you are approaching your new characters, being more known person?
I mean, characters, it's not, I don't go with characters bringing all my awards. No, it's not. It's different. Characters, it's a very human relationship and human perspective. It gives for financing the film, for distributing the film. No, it's normal. It's a normal, industry works like that. But creative-wise, I mean, of course you have more experience. You already know how some things are working. You spend less time on certain things. I remember even with my editor, we were speaking last week. With every film, what is more and more easier, we have this expression in the filmmaking, killing your darlings. So it means that when you edit the film, you need to kill 1 or 2 or maybe 10 of your darlings. It means the most precious, your favorite scenes that are really very good, but it doesn't help for the film. I mean, it can be such a good thing, it happened, but in a bigger picture, it doesn't go with the story. So when I was editing my first films, I spent so much time trying to save my darlings, still trying to find a way to place them. Now when I'm editing, I can live without that. It's so easy. You're already like a surgeon, you take out. So this selection is easier, and you know certain things. Of course, you are getting experience. I mean, I'm different than I was 20 years ago, of course. But still, you sit, you start making your film, you go to the editing room, and every time you are the same fragile, you same uncertain, you same not knowing. It's the same. It's like the new baby, you know. When you have first baby, you know, you also have children, yeah? You don't know anything, but second baby you think, oh, I already know. But still, it's another baby. It's new challenges.
That's interesting. So, do you want to talk about your newest baby?
No,
No?
because it's
Maybe
still
just
it's
a
still a
hint?
pregnant stage. So
Yeah.
that's why you still want to keep a little bit. I'm breaking.
Okay, so how long does the process usually go?
I don't want to scare you all if I say it's around 4 or 5 years, but it is. It's not that like from the very beginning, from the first idea until finished film and premiere. It's very, very long process. It's financing, developing idea, getting to know the character, shooting. Of course, I mean, films are different. There may be films that are made very fast. It's also but my own experience is like that, and for me, I think like time is very important for it because it gives you.
So you don't have like pressure from somewhere that you have to be finished?
Of course, I mean there are deadlines, there are contracts. Of course, you have this delivery date, you have your finances, you have distribution. But I'm speaking from the very first. It also is connected also with a funding system. Like, for example, if you apply for development to media program, you cannot go. So you apply in the spring, you will get an answer in the late autumn, and still in 8 months you still cannot go to the production. So it's also with financing cycles along. But most important, I mean, because in the very beginning, still your idea is very superficial. Still, it's always surface, not super, but like a very surface. And to get to know the things deeper, you need time. I mean, in 1 day and 2 days, you will grab just the surface. And you sometimes need years and to build a relationship, to get to know into the story, to look material, to digest through yourself. So I think also, but I'm telling also, it depends on the project. There is sometimes certain films that really needs to go fast and you need to shoot because the process are changing very fast, and sometimes you need to deliver it because it's of its relevance, it's very fast. So you also adapt, so also sometimes make a
So which moment is most unpleasant in this process? When you are just like editing, or just when you are applying for funds, or
I don't know. I would not use this word unpleasant. I mean, but it's a working routine. It's a normal working routine. It's not that we filmmakers, artists, every day live by inspiration and just like dreaming, and it's a normal. Sometimes, I mean, there are these very short moments of this poor happiness when you find a solution. You know? Yeah. So that we are very, very tiny, very short, but we are very precious. And these are the moments why we are creating, you know, to finally, after so many months, I found it. Oh, it's here, like eureka, you know. So these small moments it is. But all the other, it's also, of course, you go to this. Sometimes you are not inspired to do things. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you need to go, you know, writing reports. It's not so much inspiring. Or watching hours, hundreds of hours of footage. Sometimes, have been times that I really fall asleep in the editing room after because I need to find a certain thing, and I watch something very monotonic, very boring. You just sit, and you're just like, oh, suddenly you're almost sleeping. But it's like in every profession there are
ups and downs.
Yeah.
How do you manage to balance your work with personal life? Do you have any free time, or is everything connected with your profession?
I don't know. I think like I've started running 15 years ago, I still feel like I'm running, and I really still trying to learn to balance. But of course, I have family. My son already finished school, so we are trying to balance. But creative also life is so much. It also gives you a lot of freedom and a lot of responsibility. So you need to be manager also for yourself, also about your own. Yeah, but it's very important also to get. Now, okay, I will tell. I just came back. That's when I'm a little bit maybe tired today. Just yesterday, I came back from Paris. I had a very late flight, where I am editing my new film with a French editor, and we have like a certain deadline and everything. And like we here in Lithuania, sometimes we have deadlines, so we work. And with my first films, I've been like sleeping not nights, like finishing the film. And here in France, it's very clear balance. You come, you start your day, you go lunch at a certain time, and you finish your day, editing day, on a certain time. And the first few days, I was like, oh, but we have now this like. And then the third day, somehow I start liking it. I realized it's creative work, but we have very clear working routine, and it's very constructive. Now panic, maybe it's the right way to work. So at this point now, somehow I started also enjoying this not chaotic,
yes.
not chaotic, clear, like, and that things also happening, because I somehow before was using me, like pushing me myself to the corner, and I don't know. Yeah, you understood me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Talking about your production team, is it new for every movie, or do you have people that you work with constantly?
From production team, usually it's new because because my films are co-productions, so it depends on the countries where you're working on. It's different. But usually, like main creative team, I like to choose the same ones, but because you already know each other, and it's very important. And especially, like in documentary filmmaking, that we are a small team, and cinematographer, editor, there's the same core authors of the movies, because. They have to be, like in documentary filmmaking, it's not that I can, for example, during the shooting, I cannot control the process. I would not say to something is happening, the scene is very strong, and I would not suddenly run to the cinematographer and say, oh, please make now the close-up. I mean, we have sometimes our certain signs, how to communicate, but if suddenly I start screaming, oh, now it's a close-up, I will destroy the scene, and the character will understand what's happening. So the cinematographer needs to feel you and to have the same vision as you, that he can make this decision to make a close-up on a certain moment. So that's why the artistic team of a film and documentary filmmaker are essential, and editors, we also we can make miracles in the editing room. So a good editor is a big a part of film success too. Yeah, so really teamwork in the movies team is, we're not filmmakers, we're not the painters who are alone and just paint the picture. No, we are very dependent on our team, and I'm very happy that I'm surrounded by such a good team in my films too.
Okay, talking about the reality, which is of course very connected to documentary films, and so we have those recent events. Well, we had a pandemic, then we have an unfortunate war situation in Ukraine. How do these events influence your inspiration, I would say? Are you also having thoughts to doing movies, or maybe you're doing already, but because you said that the freedom path is always going through your films. How does it reflect on you personally or on your inspiration? Those events.
You mean the tension in the world that is going right now?
Yes.
It affects a lot, and especially now working on my new movie, I just see some scenes, even that were filmed in 2020, being like pranashiškas, how to say in English, like a prophet, and sometimes it even scares me. Yeah, of course I am affected. It's normal. I'm affected, and I really worry. And my film is now, the one I'm working right now, is so much connected with this, how people are not finding dialogue between each other, how much hatred now is in the world, and really now we have this feeling like it's now such a boiling temperature. This is the feeling that the world can explode in a minute. So naturally
political things are going into your daily life when working with production teams, because everybody has different opinions, what is happening and so on. Is
I
not
don't know,
a topic
what do you mean different opinions? I mean, I work, no. Usually, filmmakers are very humanistic, people of humanistic attitudes. So I think of course, I don't work with people who, for example, support terroristic regimes or something. I mean, we are, we don't have, we are just all, this worry, of course, there is a lot of worry and uncertainty in the air, but at the same time, I even find some relief and hope in making my film for myself too, trying to find this, because in the most worst times, still the most beautiful things about humanity comes up. So focusing on these basic values, on these real human issues, it's something that gives a lot of your inner strength too.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah. So this is how to try to go through all these turbulent events that are happening right now in the world.
So what is your biggest dream right now for the future, nearest future?
I mean, if to continue the subject, I don't know, of course, peace and love for the world, really. That's the most important. All the other problems we will solve. But this injustice, this hatred, these wars that are happening in the world, this is disaster. I don't really understand how humanity is never learning from its own lessons.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe never learn.
Here in the audience, we have different people, like from Belarus, from Russia as well, from Kazakhstan, and so maybe from Ukraine, I guess, from United States there.
Oh.
Yes. Maybe you could advise or just give
maybe
advice
they have questions
for young
because
people.
I will
Yes,
speak.
of course, we will give space for questions. But if there is young artists or creator who has a lot of ideas but doesn't know or isn't confident by himself, can you give powerful advice?
Powerful advice. So as I told already, first of all, be authentic, never pretend, because with my very first films, that's why I looked in the beginning when you wanted to read my filmography, I wanted to be sure you're not reading my student films, which I don't consider. So with my very first films, I was making this mistake that I was not being authentic.
So are there films that you don't want to be seen?
No, but this is still, it was part of my process,
Amateur.
Yeah, mm-hmm. But I'm also sharing now very honestly, So when I understood where was my mistake, because I was not authentic, I was trying to invent something. that comes not out from my heart. I wanted to construct something. So I was doing the script, I was watching other movies and trying either to imitate, either to pretend, either to construct the thing. And the success came only after I did something that is really about me. I mean, it's not that this film is about me, but goes through me, what you find yourself in another person. So first of all, be authentic, search what is yours, not what is like fashionable, not what is like is successful, but what is like your own, like very, very yours. And second thing, I think that these young also people has this brilliant thing that we are not that afraid. I mean, we have so much enthusiasm. I think that this enthusiasm maybe also saved me in the very beginning. Because if I would thought about how difficult it may be to do filmmaking, I mean, financial-wise and otherwise, if I would think about all this reality, I would never go to filmmaking. I would be just scared, I would be afraid, and I would just... no, you understand. I would think, oh, no, it's too. Let's look for some more stable job. But I was not thinking that much. I was just wanted to do what was interesting for me, where I felt my heart is driving. So maybe I also think maybe it's, and for some reason, you don't need to listen to me, but what I believe that if you really follow your heart and really believe in what you're doing, sooner or later you will get success. Because, sometimes people, they want to, it's not only about the artists. For example, we love animals and we want to be a veterinarian, but we think, no, but my parents want me to be a lawyer, so I will go and study law. But maybe if they love animals, they would be the best veterinarian, and we will be happy and get a lot of success in their lives. So that's it. So don't be afraid, because, life, and follow your dream. Don't think too much like in many years, how it will be. This is this moment, and just do your best. Study as much as you hard work. There is no other recipe than believing in yourself, being authentic, and lots of hard work. Because things doesn't happen, just fall from the sky, You need really to do a lot, but little after little, somehow you are reaching.
Thank you, very good advice.
Yeah.
I think we can thank Giedrė for spending her time with us, with the students, with the European Humanities University.
It's my pleasure.
As I said in the beginning, I think it's very important for our students to see the life examples, living examples of being, from the beginning to now, being successful, being creative, and that everything is possible. Just you have to
also
start, be yourself, yes.
And also being tired and being I also think sometimes very risky, like to say, it's successful, everything is fine. It's many things can happen, Yes. But you just never give up, just
So we hope that one day Giedrė will make movie about European Humanities University, which is also legendary here.
But you need some drama there,
Oh, we have dramas here.
Because you need drama.
As you know, the university has a status of university in exile.
I know.
So it has a very interesting story, and it has
students with interesting stories too.
Yes, we have many stories from students, like from Belarus, from Ukraine, and not every story is very happy story, of course, and every day we feel the atmosphere, of course, but besides of that, it's very good that we had you here. So thank you, Giedrė. And and where can students watch your films?
They are on platforms also available, because now cinema release is over, so they are with Jump is on all, like Apple, Google Play.
Okay,
it's
so
everywhere.
Please watch them.
On Mubi, also on Master Tatiana yeah.
There's subtitles, English subtitles?
And English and French and Spanish, so you can select the language. I think Russian too, obviously.
Great, great. So thank you, Giedrė. Applause.